Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you who've logged in to our webinar series, I should say, because this is already, I believe, our fourth webinar where we're presenting different Czech regions. So welcome. I'm actually in the Czech Republic right now, and I will be co-hosting this webinar with a colleague of mine who is also in the Czech Republic in South Bohemia, and I will introduce her later. So we will have two people based in the Czech Republic, and then the third person is my colleague in New York, who's our PR manager, Radka Křížek, who's logging in from New York. So once again, hello, and thank you for your continuous interest in the Czech Republic. Today, we will be talking about a region that is, I would say, the top region for foreign visitors to come to the Czech Republic, or at least number 2 after Prague, which is the region of South Bohemia. What will the webinar look like? Those of you who have participated already know that we do a little destination intro. Then we will have my colleague from the destination of South Bohemia talk about the region. And then we will have our very popular virtual live tour, this time from the beautiful town of Český Krumlov. So we have sort of 3 different parts to the webinar. We will share with you a Zoom link that will allow you to join the virtual tour right after the presentations. So what will happen is that you will stay on the TA Connect platform right now. When it's time to join the Zoom, we will put up a slide with information how to join the Zoom, and then you just switch to the Zoom platform and join the live virtual tour. But we will give you instructions throughout the webinar, and I believe it's going to be as smooth as possible for everybody. So without any further ado, I would like to start with the very short destination sort of info. And as I said many times before, my job is not to sell only one particular region. I do sell and promote the whole country, which is the destination Czech Republic. And, you know, as you have seen before, I always say and start with the name of the country, which many of you know, travel advisors and even consumers still are hesitant about. So we are the Czech Republic, or Czechia as well. We're no longer Czechoslovakia or Chechnya, that we've never been. Czechoslovakia split in 1993 into 2 countries, Czech Republic and Slovakia. So when you're looking into maps and Google, you might see either Czechia or Czech Republic. I have a very, you know, good announcement to make. We have been saying for a long time that Czech Republic is closed for American travelers. I'm happy to say that as of June 21st, Czech Republic opened up for American travelers. And it is actually fairly easy to visit right now. So Americans are allowed to visit. Canadians are not allowed to visit yet. What is required? Pretty much you should have with you your vaccination card, or some kind of proof that you have either had, you know, COVID before a number of days, or also either a PCR test. But when you entering the country from the United States, you don't need to prove, you know, that you have the vaccination. What happens is when you enter the country and you visit either a restaurant or a museum or like an establishment, you might be asked for the proof of vaccination or a proof of a PCR test. But when you're traveling, the borders are open and you coming from the so-called green country, which means that there are no restrictions in terms of travel. I'm in the Czech Republic right now. Things are open. You know, I've been to restaurants, I've been to, you know, sort of public establishments, and I've been asked maybe once for the proof of vaccination card, and that's about it. When you're moving outside, you don't need to put your mask on. When you're indoors, you know, it's up to you. But if you're in a public transportation or in, you know, in medical establishments, etc., you need to wear the FFP2 or N95 face mask. So a little bit of thinking before you go, what you have to pack, etc. But otherwise, it's fairly easy. And as I said, we have great news, and this is that the the Czech Republic is open for the US travelers. I know that many of you have clients who will be in Europe and will be looking into travel to the Czech Republic. So again, this website that I also put up every time we have this webinar gives you information what the different requirements for the countries in the European Union are. We had questions, for instance, people traveling from Croatia to Prague, what do they need? American passports. So in this case, what is important is where they're traveling from, not really what passports they have. So if they are in any given country in European Union for longer than 12 hours, so in other words, it's not a transfer, they need to look up what rules apply for traveling, let's say, from Croatia to the Czech Republic. So it gets a little bit complicated, but it might be a little bit more of an incentive for people to stay in the Czech Republic and explore a little bit more and, stay in one place, let's say it this way. Czech Republic is a country in the heart of Europe. I mentioned before we are part of the Schengen zone, members of the European Union. It's quite a small country, 10.5 million people, roughly the size of South Carolina. The capital city is Prague. We are not on the euro yet. We're still using the Czech crown. Czech Republic is pretty safe. The COVID cases are really low right now. We hope it will stay this way. In terms of safety in general, we rank, for a number of years among the 10 safest countries in the world. As of now, there are no direct flights between the US and the Czech Republic. But any major European or any major carrier that flies to Europe gets you to Prague. So, for instance, I flew KLM Delta through Amsterdam. You can fly through Germany, etc. So it's fairly easy to get to Prague. The language, official language is Czech. It's a Slavic language, so it's a language similar to Polish, Russian, for instance, Slovak. But English is widely spoken, so you don't have to worry about not being able to get by with English only. This is the map of the Czech Republic. So Czech Republic borders with Poland, Germany, Austria, and Slovakia. The capital city is Prague, as I mentioned before. And, there are a few sort of highlight destinations that we've talked throughout the series and that we had this past 5 months. So we talked a little bit about the region of the spas, Carlsbad. We talked about Prague, of course. We talked about Plzeň. And today we will talk about the region of South Bohemia, which is right here. It's about 2.5 hours south of Prague. Czech Republic is a very diverse country. We have 14 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We have more than 2,000 castles and chateaus. We have great spas. We have great natural parks as well. So I believe there's a lot to see for everybody. So as I said, the region that we will be looking more in depth into today is the region of South Bohemia. And many of you know or have heard about the town of Český Krumlov, which is really the second most visited town after Prague in the Czech Republic. I will not talk more about it because Jaroslava will give you all the details and you will have the live virtual tour afterwards. So this is just to get you sort of oriented where we'll be traveling today. And last but not least, I also want to mention that we have a destination specialist program that covers 4 countries, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, and Slovakia. It's called Central Europe Specialist, and you can become specialized in all these 4 countries or just do a module that's for individual countries. We get your information, then you get invited for webinars, eventually fam trips when we start organizing them again, etc. And our office is located in New York. Our office is quite small. It's myself and my colleague Radka Křížek, who's on the webinar as well. She's the PR manager. And the best way to get in touch with us is probably via email. You have all our contact information on this slide, and we will be also sharing it in the follow-up after this webinar. So now, without any further ado, I would like to pass the floor to Jaroslava Janečková, who is the International Marketing Manager for the South Bohemian region. And she will give you all the information about the beautiful part of the Czech Republic and Český Krumlov. I also forgot to mention that there was a question at the very beginning. And those of you who took the poll will have a chance to find out if you were right or wrong, because Jaroslava will give you the right answer. So I will mute myself now, and Jaroslava, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for introducing me. Hello to everyone. I'm Jaroslava from South Bohemia. And before I start my presentation, I will answer the poll for you. So the correct answer is B. The stone is also called a wandering stone, so it means if you step over it, you will wander in the streets until the morning and you will never find a way home. Well, many of my friends claim that it's true, but I don't know how many beers they had before they started wandering around the street. So it's hard to say whether it's only a legend or true. Okay, so let's start with the presentation. Just a moment. As it was already mentioned, the South Bohemia region is situated in the southern part of the country. It shares borders with Austria and Germany. And yeah, sorry. The easiest way to get to our region is from the international airports in Prague or in southern neighbors of our country, which means Austria from Vienna or Linz, or from Germany, Passau, or from Munich. In the center of the region, you can find the town České Budějovice. It's the capital town of our region, and it's a great starting point for trips around the whole region, because all the towns are in a very short distance from there. So České Budějovice, it's a historical town with a beautiful historical square in the middle, one of the largest in the Czech Republic. The town is a cultural and historical center of the whole region. It offers many accommodation facilities, and it's the place where the world-famous Budweiser Budvar beer is brewed. And the brewery offers tours with a beer tasting in many languages, including English. But we also have some smaller breweries which are very specific and which offer local beers, like Solnice, Krajinská 27, or Bíránek. Together with the breweries, there are also restaurants which offer local cuisine. So if you want to try something really authentic, it's great to visit them. The town České Budějovice also offers many parks for relaxation and picnics, and it's situated on the place where two rivers are meeting, so it's also great for water sports. You can rent there a small boat or paddleboard and enjoy the town from the viewpoint of the river. It's also great to take a bike or boat trip to Hluboká nad Vltavou, which is a very small town situated only 10 kilometers from České Budějovice. The highlight of the town is the Hluboká Chateau with a landscape park. You can also find there Alš South Bohemian Gallery, which is situated right next to the castle or the chateau, and it hosts exhibitions from all over the world. This year it's, for instance, the Russian avant-garde, which was borrowed from Yekaterinburg, from Russia. On the bank of the river Vltava in Hluboká, you can also find a sport and leisure center with Adrenaline Rope Park, mini golf, inflatable trampolines, children's wooden castle, outdoor workout zone, and so on. Also here you can rent a small boat or paddleboard or bike. I will also show you another view of the castle or Chateau Hluboká. On the highest tower of the castle, there's a lookout, so you can get to the highest tower and enjoy the view of the surrounding park and forests. It's really beautiful. And what's very popular for children is a zoo, which is also situated only a few kilometers from the castle. Well, but as it was already mentioned, the most beautiful part of our region is the town Český Krumlov. On this picture, you can see the large complex of castle and the chateau, which consists of more than 40 buildings. It's really amazing. You can spend there literally the whole day, and you will never see everything you can, because there are many excursions around the castle. You can visit the castle tower, the museum, a unique Baroque theater, or a collection of historical transport vehicles. So in 1992, the town Český Krumlov got to the UNESCO list, because not only the castle but the whole town is very well preserved. You can find there many historical buildings from Renaissance to Gothic and other times. But Český Krumlov, it's not only the castle. I would also recommend visiting, for instance, Český Krumlov monasteries. It's a very unique complex of 3 monasteries. It has been reconstructed recently, and it's a great place for the whole family. It offers interactive exhibitions for young and older children, and also craft work workshops and fairs. And you can literally feel like you were in Middle Ages. You can visit the dungeons, and they let you touch everything. You can make your own potions. You can try on historical costumes. So it's very unique, very authentic. I really recommend you visiting this place. And another very interesting place in Český Krumlov is Josef Seidl Photo Studio. It is a museum of history of photography. But not only a museum, it's also an atelier where you can lend these beautiful costumes, and the staff will make you these photos. That's also a great experience. So I would talk more about Český Krumlov, but I think the best way to enjoy the town is in the virtual tour, which will come in a short time. But we also have another UNESCO site, and it's called Holašovice. It's not so well known as Český Krumlov, because it's only a very small village. It's situated only about 10 kilometers from České Budějovice, from the capital town of the region. I recommend you going there by car, because the public transport connection is not very good. So you can get there by car, or you can make a bike trip. It's also a good option. It's only a small village, but it's unique because it's a typical South Bohemian village with a rustic Baroque architecture from the second half of the 19th century. But it's not an open-air museum, but there are still people living in this village. So you can see the authentic life. There are a few restaurants and some events of local music and arts. So it's really worth visiting. So I would also like to draw your attention to our natural heritage. There are many beautiful places. If you like hiking or biking, South Bohemia is really ideal for you. You can see a Lipno Reservoir on this picture. It is situated on the borderline with Austria, in the very southern part of the country, and it's the largest lake in the Czech Republic. It's a very popular summer and winter holiday destination. It has good conditions for water sports like fishing, boating, and in winter you can also come here for skiing or ice skating. Next to the Lipno Lake, you can find active park with a rope park, bobsled track, and treetop walkway, which you can see on the picture. It offers beautiful views, not only on the lake, but also on surrounding mountains. And you can also see the Austrian Alps when the weather is good. People like to visit Lipno, especially in summer, and there are also beautiful concerts right on the treetop walkway, which is also a nice experience. There is also a bike trail around the whole lake, so if you like biking, it's also a great opportunity. On the western part of the lake begin the mountains Šumava. It's one of the most beautiful and largest mountains in the Czech Republic, and the part of the mountains is also a national park, Šumava, with a wild nature and unspoiled beautiful countryside. It also offers beautiful conditions for hiking and mountain biking, and there are many lookout towers with beautiful views on forests and many local farms where you can try local food too. The great starting point for trips around Šumava Mountains is the Renaissance town Prachatice, with a beautiful historical center. And the last tip for hiking in South Bohemia is the Valley hiking trail along the river Lužnice. It became very popular recently, and it even got to the list of leading quality trails best of Europe, which is a list of the most beautiful and most beautiful hiking trails in the whole Europe. And it's really amazing, especially in fall, when all the trees are colorful. It makes a great atmosphere. Well, if you decided to visit this hiking trail, I would also recommend you the town Tábor, because this is where the hiking trail starts. It's a very small town with historically unique atmosphere, and it has many great restaurants, cafes, and bars. And what's very popular is a chocolate museum with a museum shop. So what's great, the town Tábor is situated on a halfway between Prague and České Budějovice. So if you come to Prague and continue from Prague to the southern part of the country, you can't miss this town. And there are so many beautiful towns, but I'm afraid we don't have time to mention all of them. So one of them also is Třeboň, a town connected with a fishing tradition because it is surrounded by many ponds. It also has a well-preserved historical center with a chateau. And as it's situated in flatlands with many ponds, it's ideal for biking, especially for people like elderly people or families with small children. And another town not far from Třeboň is called Jindřichův Hradec, one of the biggest castles in the Czech Republic and also a nice historical town. But there's one thing I would like to draw your attention to, and it's beer, because beer is very popular in our region, and we even have more than 40 breweries here, from the biggest one like Budvar to the small micro breweries and family breweries. You can find also handout with a list of the most popular breweries, which are also happy to invite English speaking tourists, and they are able to provide a tour with tasting for them. You can find a brewery almost in every town or even a small village in our country. So especially in South Bohemia, beer tourism is very popular, and the beer is excellent and not expensive. So if you like beer, yeah, definitely come to our region. Yeah, before I finish my presentation, and before we continue with the virtual tour in Český Krumlov, I forgot to mention a few practical tips about the Český Krumlov town. First of all, if you come to Český Krumlov, do spend a night there. It's the best way to enjoy the town is to come in the evening and enjoy the town in the evening and in the early morning. Because during the day, especially in summer, the town is very crowded. It also used to have big problems with over-tourism, but it ended with the COVID pandemic, because the large groups of tourists stopped coming to the town, of course. It was not possible, for example, for Asian tourists to come anymore, but now it's also crowded, especially with Czech people who love to spend their summer holidays in there. But in the evening, the streets are almost empty, so it's a great time to enjoy the atmosphere and the architecture of the town. There also used to be a big problem with parking, but a few years ago there was a new system of parking included. So now there are five large parking places for passenger cars, and also one big bus park with an online reservation system. So you can book a time slot for a concrete time, and you have no problem with parking here. So that was all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, do contact me, please. You can see here my email, and you can also find more information about our region on our Facebook, on our website, or a new website dedicated to South Bohemia Convention Bureau. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jaroslava. And I think this was a great overview of the whole region, because I know that many of you know Český Krumlov, and it's absolutely stunning, and it's a must-see place, but there's so much more in the whole region to visit. As Jaroslava pointed out, there's national parks, there's smaller towns that are definitely worth visiting, there's great gastronomy, there's festivals. So just keep in mind that you can definitely spend more than a day there. And I couldn't agree more about spending the night. Before COVID, and we'll see how things will shape up, where travel returns to somehow normal levels. People tend to do a day trip from Prague to Český Krumlov, and we would always say, please do spend a night. And it's not really about us promoting the hotels, but it's about 2.5 hours one way, so it will take you 5 hours just to go and and come back. And as Jaroslava mentioned, the town really gets crowded. It's a small town during the day, and in the evening, you really that's the evening when you were able to see the real atmosphere of the town. So do spend a night, do spend a weekend, maybe rent a bike, go around the beautiful countryside, and enjoy a little bit more of the region itself. Before we hop on the Zoom virtual live tour, I believe there were some questions. Radka, you want to maybe hop in and just summarize and maybe read some of the questions that were sort of relevant and most frequent, so that we answer them now.
So I try to answer most of them. So basically, we will follow up. We will send you the recording webinar, and as well the instruction. You know, if you have a client traveling from another European country to Czech Republic, what are the restrictions? Basically, we have the traffic light system, so they have to follow these restrictions. We will follow up. That was a question if there is testing places in Český Krumlov. I believe that, you know, all the major towns have a testing places. We can do some research, or I think Jaroslava can send the contact information for those places. And I think that's it. You know, I just, you know, encourage you to, you know, look in the handouts. We actually uploaded a lot of brochures and information, and our latest press release on, you know, traveling to Czech Republic. And yeah, as Michala mentioned, you know, Canadians are still not allowed to travel to Czech Republic. And there was a question on the respirators, the special face mask. So this is for now, but I will believe there was a discussion that they will lose it. And, you know, in the future, I think it's like, you know, we are talking about a week or 2 weeks. The regular face mask will be sufficient, you know.
Yeah, I believe they're talking about July 1st, sort of lifting up the restrictions. You know, it's so fluid. I mean, it does change almost every day. So please keep our contacts handy. Jaroslava's, ours contact. We always try to answer in a timely manner all the questions. We also do our research. We don't know it on top of our heads, everything. So I think being connected now, it's more important than ever because nobody has the full, the full picture right away. We have to do some research as well. So Radka, I believe those were all the most sort of relevant questions, correct? And we will stay, the three of us, we will stay on the TA Connect platform throughout the Zoom presentation as well. So when the live tour finishes, those of you who still want to come back to the TA Connect platform can do so. And you can still sort of ask more questions if you have any. Right now, what you see is a slide that shows you how to join the live virtual tour of Český Krumlov. So you just sort of hop off from this this platform, go to your Zoom link. You have the meeting ID on this slide, and the passcode is Krumlov, KRUMLOV. We will be magically transferred to the beautiful town of Český Krumlov. So I will say goodbye for now from TA Connect and from South Moravia, where I'm now, and I'll see you in Český Krumlov. And again, those of you who want to come back to TA Connect, please do so. We will be here after the live virtual tour as well to answer some questions. And just one more important thing, stay muted on the Zoom platform, because I think you will be muted by the host anyway, because it can interfere then during the actual live tour. So I will, as I said, I say goodbye for now, and let's see everybody in Český Krumlov. Thank you very much for your attention.
So I also shared the Zoom link via the chat, and I can share the meeting ID via the chat as well. So